Greetings and welcome kind of to a new time in our history. Um, we are the Ridge in Prescott Valley here in Arizona, and um, I really look back to the last time that we met 3 weeks ago or 2.5 weeks ago. I think we had an idea that it might be the last time our congregation met together for some time. And some of the weight of that weighed on me a little bit, but when I got there and saw the spirit and the enthusiasm and the love being shown throughout the service and into prayer afterwards, and just the conversations, I have great anticipation for meeting again. That's just what I want to lay out there. Is there's a time coming forward that we're going to meet again, and it's going to be a party. And I'm really looking truly forward to seeing each and every one of you, and just sharing again what God's doing, what God's done. Um, we are His greatest tools for each other in showing us what His love and what true love is for all of us. With that in mind, I do want to announce that, with the declaration that there's a stay-at-home and or stay-in-place order for Arizona through the entire month of April, we're going to respect that as a congregation, and we're not going to meet through the rest of April. Do not have any plans as of this moment of when we begin again, just because the news of the day and the times do change pretty rapidly. But I just wanted to share with you guys that we were anticipating in 2 weeks right from the beginning. That's what we started the video series that we've been doing, and now that is extended throughout the rest of the month of April, which we will be finding out ways and other places to share with you guys during this time, and to just try to continue to grow together, even with the challenge of not meeting together, growing together without meeting together. That's what we're trying to do. In line of growing together, your partnership with the rest of the congregation and with the leadership and so forth is huge. Um, you guys are giving in great ways through both your resources and of your time and of what you're doing, and in service to one another. Please continue to do that. I can't tell you how encouraging it is that we see the response from people as we talk to them, as we have asked for giving, as we have seen some needs in some places be taken care of from you guys. We want to continue to do that. So if there is a call out there, if you have a need, please let us know. Um, that's one of the things that we want to provide, but also at the same point, once you have knowledge of someone's need, telling us about you taking care of it and how you can help take care of it. All of those things are going to be these God stories, these huge God stories we're going to have when we come out of this time. I talked to Randy a little bit today, and he just talked about what kind of stories our children and our grandchildren are going to tell about this time in human history, and what our response to it was, both as a world, as a country, as a state, as a community, but then as us as a congregation. Now, what our responses during the time, and what are our responses coming out of this? Those are going to be some amazing stories being told for history to come. History is being made right now, and we are all kind of a part of that. Thank you for all the things that you've done. Financially speaking, um, there are some good things going on, and we will continue as leadership of the church to um, try to make wise, prayerful decisions about what to do with the resources we have during this, so that when we come out on the other side of the stay at home, we're stronger than ever. We're looking forward to what's going on and how we're doing. So, um, the terms were give, save, and live. Give first, save second, live on the rest. I don't know if any message is any more appropriate than for this time, for what we're dealing with and for how we're going to deal with the resources moving forward. So thank you for what you've done. I thank you in advance for what you're going to do. And I just, again, anticipate this huge party coming down a month and a half, 2 months, no matter when it's going to be, that when we get together for that first time after, that we get to just hug, share, and be together for the first time. So thank you. As I've been missing fellowship, I believe all of us have been missing this time of fellowship. And we're missing a vital tool that God uses in our life. God uses others like nothing else to teach us the things that He wants us to know, and we have been separated a lot from that. With that, I just wanted to go back to over the last 6 months. I think we've been prepared as a congregation over the last 6 months to handle a time like this, and not saying we're ever prepared right for the very moment of what we're doing, but I think God has done some amazing things in here. One of the things that happened, one of the examples of that, when Will came back from break, he actually shared with us hitting the reset button, and he shared with us a verse in two forms. I'll read the verse first in the form that we're traditionally aware of, but then he read it to us in the Message, and I thought it was very appropriate for our time now and what we're looking at. Matthew 11:28 through 30. The traditional way: come to me, all who are labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. What a message for right now. The burdens, the being heavy laden. God wants to be there for us, but the reminders of that usually come through the fellowship that we do on a Sunday or on a Wednesday night or on a Tuesday night in our group meetings, or just having a get together with everybody. Those things are kind of have been taken from us. So it's going to really come down to looking towards God in those moments to take the burdens and to find that rest that you're looking for. If you're feeling restless, God wants to give you rest. But I love the message in the Message version of this passage, because it does give a little bit of insight into more of our conversation of what we're talking about. The Message version of it says this: are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion, or I might even add here, burned out on seclusion? Come to me, get away with me, and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. I want to talk a little bit about unforced rhythms of grace. Grace flows from God to us individually. I don't think I'm going to get any argument from any of you that's how that God extends His grace to us in love and even in service to us. The second way that grace flows is from us to others around us, and that comes into our families, that comes into the congregation that we have at church, that comes into the people that we work with or that we're around in society, in our community, and ultimately to the grace that we extend to the world. This kind of time challenges those rhythms of grace. We get bogged down in negativity. We get bogged down with criticism. We get bogged down with judgment of political leaders, of media, of others around us and the decisions that they're making. Go to Costco sometime and find out how critical you are right now of others around you for no particular reason at all. That's just a truth that we're dealing with right now. So one of the rhythms of grace is easily broken in a time of crisis that we're in right now, and that is from us to others. It is essential, I think, for us to have grace with others during this time, seeing that God has given us grace and we need to extend that to others. Because the problem is, once we stop extending grace to others, we tend to not see the grace given to us from God. And that brings on a whole nother level. Instead of grace being seen in our life, pride begins to be seen in our life. And we become even greater, have a greater separation from God once that begins to happen. And it all gets tied up into this big um, crisis mode that we become in when we're put into these challenging times. So I just wanted to challenge with you to see and to evaluate, are you extending grace to others? And to see that by not doing that, you may be not seeing the grace that God's giving you, and that your pride may be taking over more. I know this is happening with me right now. It's a very difficult time. I'm not going to sit here and give you these rosy colors all the time. It's hard. I lean on those conversations I can have with my next door neighbor, Reggie, who lives right over there, by the way, and with Tim, and with Randy, and with Ross, and with Will, and any phone call that I can make out there. Those things are how I'm trying to see grace that I can extend to others, and then allow God's grace to come back over me so that I don't have a critical spirit, so that my pride doesn't take over as I go out there and get frustrated with the lines at Fry's, and the way people are behaving. Those things will seriously affect us. I say conversations right now are more important than anything that we can do. And whether it's by phone, by an email, by snail mail, actually writing out a letter, maybe sending in the mail, may be an activity that may be useful at this moment. What I would like to challenge the church and our congregation, if you're watching this video, pray about, think about those stories that's been happening in your life, whether past, current, or what you think's going to happen, and what God has been doing with you, and sharing that with us, sharing that with everybody here. I would like to see, if you can send us an email, ridgepvinfo@gmail.com is our email address. You can actually send it to them in the mail. If you get on and you get onto the church website, you can get our address there. You can make a phone call in, maybe get in contact with anybody here at the church, and just tell us what's going on, how God is working in your life. And I would like to share some of those stories back to the congregation, whether they're through some of the possible video series, or maybe a podcast in audio form, or possibly even in a blog, so that it's in written form. But sharing those stories right now, beyond just the people that you're seeing in the videos, I want to hear some stories of what's going on out there. Awesome news. You guys have been watching our videos at an amazing clip. We're getting about 200 views per video. Some of those views are multiples and so forth. But the reach of the videos is at least something that we can do as a church to provide some support during this time. Your support of those videos is very important. There are comment sections of those. You can use those for comments about the videos, what God's been teaching you there too. I will respond to those, and Will respond to those, and we will have some interaction there as well. Thank you for everything you guys have been doing, for staying strong in the Lord, and for supporting and being a partner of what we're doing here at the Ridge PV, and out into the community, and even out into the world. The videos actually don't just serve us. People can stumble upon our videos and see what we're doing during this time, and be encouraged, and maybe possibly be challenged either in their walk with the Lord, or be challenged to come to Christ in the first place. That's the ultimate goal. That's the goal of the gospel. God shares his love and service with us, and then we share that with the rest of the world. Thank you guys for what you are. Stay strong. It's going to be a party when we meet again. I can't wait for it. Talk to you guys soon, and love you. Bye-bye.